Let's talk about ancient Asian women. During the ancient times, women's roles were primarily for daughter, sister, wife, daughter in law, and a mother. And all of these are compulsory for women. This is to follow or achieve the wishes of their men, like their father, or their brother, or their husbands. Women during ancient times just stay at home learning household chores. But if you are a member of rich families or the king or the queen, you can go to school. During ancient time, women, if caught doing adultery, they will be killed. But if men were caught doing adultery, they will be just punished through financials. Also, women cannot marry other men. They can have only one husband. But for men, they can marry more, two or more girls, and they can visit prostitutes.
The history of foot binding in China, the lotus feet. The foot binding started in China around the 10th century in the Song dynasty. Young girls would have their feet bound in order to make them smaller, signifying beauty and status symbol for the upper class women. The smaller the foot, the more refined and marriageable to the elite the girls are. It is said to have been inspired from a 10th century dancer named Yao Niyang, who bound her feet into the shape of a new moon to perform a specific dance for Emperor Li Yu. By dancing on her toes in a giant 6-foot golden lotus flower. The lotus flower is a traditional flower in China. It symbolizes the holy seat of Buddha. The emperor found this woman so beautiful that the other women started copying her to make their daughters beautiful. The process of foot binding started with young girls around the age of 5 to 7. Their parents or grandparents would soak their feet into a warm herbal mixture and clip the toenails short. Then they would massage the feet of the girl using oil, and then they would take the 4 small toes, leaving that big toe alone, and wrap it under the sole of the foot and wrap it, making a triangular shape. Next, they would take the whole feet, then fold it into an arc or bend it in half and bound in place using a strip of silk measuring 10 feet long and 2 inches wide. These wrappings are removed every 2 days to prevent infection, let the blood flow and to clean it. Sometimes, excess flesh are cut off or encouraged to rot. This process was extremely painful as their bones are literally broken and bound to shape, which made walking very difficult for these young girls. Every time the foot wraps are changed, they are put back tighter to make the foot smaller, as the heel and sole are crushed together. As time goes by, the feet becomes numb as it heals into shape. After a few years, mostly 2 years, the process is complete. For families with a marriageable daughter, a 3-inch foot size, A 3 Chinese inch is equals to 4 inch in Western measurement, or 10 centimeters. It's known as the golden lotus, the most desirable size for a bride. A 4-inch foot size is known as a silver lotus, respectable enough to wed. But a 5-inch and above size are dismissed as iron lotus, which will not have as good marriage prospect as their 3 and 4-inch counterpart. If a foot had been bound, can it be reversed? Yes, but not without the woman undergoing the same pain all over again, and the feet will never look or feel the same. It probably will cause long-term pain issues. Foot binding was successfully banned in 1912, but still persisted in rural areas as late as the 1940s. Here are 2 examples of the last few living women with bound feet, photographed by Joe Farrell. Sushi Rong, photographed at 75 years old in 2008. She was known as the most beautiful woman in their village because of her small, well-formed, bound feet. Joe saw her again in November 2015. She can no longer walk very far as she put on a lot of weight, which her small feet cannot support. Her foot was bound due to a strong feudal tradition rendering women with unbound feet unmarriageable. Her grandmother would punish her by cutting a slice of skin off her toes if she tried to unbind her feet. Si Yin Jin, photographed at 90 years old in 2011. Her feet had never been unbound and have took on the shape of the lotus shoes. She managed to keep them hidden